Welcome to a special Cup final edition of When Sunday Comes. First up, the Cyril Anekstein up for grabs, Hendon against Oakwood A. Danny, let's start with the first Cup final. Were you surprised by the two teams that reached the final?
Not really, Samantha. Hendon United have just won the league title. Oakwood finished as runners-up. So the best two teams in Maccabi football at the moment in London. Hendon recently beat Oakwood 3-1. So for me, on paper and on grass, it's the best two teams, so there's no arguments there.
And how do you think Oakwood might react to that defeat?
I think there's a lot of pride at stake. Oakwood were last season's league champions. This year they thought they were on course to do it again, but Hendon upstaged them. So I think, if anything, the fact that Hendon have taken the title off them is all the incentive they need, and the manager won't need to say too much to the players before the match.
In Cup game, do you think form goes out the window?
I think, especially when it's the top two teams in the league, for me there's going to be very little to separate them, maybe one goal in it.
And what about key players for this big match?
Well, the star men for me this season, Hendon have got their fab three up front of Moses Sietler, Dovi Feller and Zach Lewis, who's a strong contender for Player of the Year. They're the equivalent of Liverpool's Firmino, Salah and Mane. So the front three, you can't ask for any better at this level of football. Oakwood have also got their threats. Carl Bentwood is a big match player. He always pops up with a goal or an assist in a final. Brad Wine is their talisman, really. He's their energy, the heartbeat of the team. And a real standout player this year's a new boy called Josh Cuby, who's a live wire. Hendon are going to do very well to handle him.
And what's the history of these two teams reaching Cup finals?
Hendon especially, they've got a very strong pedigree. They know how to handle the big occasion, whereas Oakwood, they've been the bridesmaid a couple of times in both finals and semi-finals. So I think, if anything, Hendon will have a small psychological edge. And
goalkeeper's your position. When it gets to a Cup final, what's the mentality like for a goalkeeper?
Unfortunately, I didn't play in too many myself, but there's obviously a big crowd, and you don't get that in your normal Sunday morning game, and you're playing in a stadium, so a bit of added pressure on the goalkeepers. Hendon have got arguably the best one in the league in Russell Corrin. He's a brilliant shot stopper, got great reflexes. So there's a lot at stake for both teams, and I really hope neither game's decided by a goalkeeping error.
And how do you think Oakwood will deal with the pressure of a Cup final?
Oakwood have got big match players. They know how to turn it on. They're a very compact unit, very spirited bunch of boys and very talented. So I'm sure they won't let the occasion overawe them.
Let's crack on and check out how the teams got on.
So half-time in the Cyril Anekstein Cup final here at Rowley Lane. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the game? Sim?
Well, I think it's been a tightly fought affair, tightly contested affair. I think both defences have been on top. I thought Hendon started better. They were dominating possession, but Oakwood came back into the game, and now I think going into the second half, I think they've got the momentum, I feel.
And Ben, have any players in particular impressed you?
Yeah, their left winger, Sietler's, I thought he's been the best player on the park. That run from Corman and then hitting, was it just over the bar, kind of just before the end of the half, was pretty good. I thought that was the moment of the game, like you said in your tweet. But yeah, I thought Hendon kind of started the game really strong, but they're kind of getting into it quite a lot now. So it sets up to be a good second half.
I think Ari Nevis, a right back, I've been very impressed with. I think he's had a fine game.
Yeah. And so far, just the one yellow card, a few hefty challenges. Are you surprised it's just been one caution so far?
You know what? For a Sunday League game, you know, the challenge has been flying in. It's been a real midfield battle out there, and I feel like I like to see that. You know, I like to see players with passion really fighting for the shirt, and I think we've seen that today.
And Ben, how do you think the breakthrough is going to come today?
Well, I think, if it's going to come from Oakwood, then it's probably going to be a long ball over the top. But Hendon are actually getting it on the ground, playing some nice football, spraying some nice passes. So I don't know where the breakthrough is going to come, but I think Hendon's going to get it.
Unfortunately, we've seen a real lack of shots on target today, haven't we? Haven't seen many saves.
We've seen some really nice spraying passes.
We have. I agree with that. I don't know who's favourite going to second half. I feel like Oakwood have that momentum.
Yeah, Oakwood have been growing in the game, but I still back Hendon to win the game.
I agree.
Boys, first of all, congratulations on winning the Cyril Anekstein Cup. Dan, how does it feel?
Amazing, incredible. You won't get a better game. Just an unbelievable football match, end to end, and it was just going from one team to the other. But we're so delighted, absolutely buzzing.
And at the end of extra time, sorry, at the end of normal time rather, 2-2. Did you think you edged the game?
We thought we just about edged the game. We didn't think there was a lot in it, but ultimately it was all about having 5 subs, and we were just able to recycle. We lost to Alex in the first half, Brad early in the second half, but we just had so much quality on the bench, and this season we just haven't been able to call on that enough. I think I've told you a few times, today was all about having the squad. Every single player in that squad played their part, and that's why we've won, and I felt we deserved it.
And then David, at the end of normal time, what did you both say to the boys?
Well, we just had the boys keep going. You know, we were ahead 3 times over the course of the match, so 2 times in normal time. And let's go out there and win it again. We've done a lot of the basics right, and but we're up against a great team in Hendon. We've had lots of battles against them over the years. We won the league title last year, they won it this year. We lost to them in the Morrison final on pens about 5 years ago. So we know they're always going to come back, and they did, you know, even into extra time, and which was gutting. The hardest team thought was probably for the penalties, you know, go out there and win it again. And again, it's just a roller coaster of emotions there. But, you know, we're just so delighted to finally come through.
And had you practiced penalties during the week in preparation?
No, not at all. We always thought about winning the game in 90 minutes. But when you get to that stage, it's about the boys who want to take a pen. Unfortunately, in our team, you've got a lot of characters, and there were 7 or 8 you want to take. So we're in a good position of having to whittle them down to the best 5 and then from there. So we always felt confident, but it's a bit of a lottery. Our keeper made a great save, their keeper made one great save, and I think they missed a pen to win it at one stage. So we got a bit of luck in that sense, but you know, we thought we deserved it over the piece.
Yeah. League champions last season, cup winners this year. What's going to happen next year?
We're definitely go for the Morrison. That's a show. We were disappointed in that most years, but we're just so delighted now. The club over the years has been amazing. It's got through the leagues, but now we're really winning stuff, and that's what it's about. And we feel that this year the best 2 teams have won something each. We just feel if we'd had our strongest team out each week in the league, which we've not been able to, we would have pushed them further. But to win this, first time we've won it. Our penalty record before today wasn't amazing, but we're just so delighted. We're in the cups, we're in the silverware, and that's what it's about. Yeah.
So Greg, a fantastic final. Unfortunately, there has to be a loser on the day. You went to penalties. First of all, what would you say about your boys' performance over the 120 minutes?
Immensely proud. We really showed our heart, what the team's all about. Didn't play the football that I would have liked today, but coming back 3 times, had injuries to goalie, but in the end, as you said, there can only be one winner, and Oakwood were a deserved winner today.
Did anything surprise you about Oakwood's performance on the day?
They had a boy that played left wing for them, who we hadn't played against before. I thought he had an outstanding game. It was a real match winner today for them. But apart from that, they're a very committed team, great competitors, and they always push us. They've pushed us in the league, and so no surprises. It was always going to be a tough game against them.
And their managers put forward their goalkeeper as their man of the match, so that obviously says something about your performance.
Yeah, I thought he made some tremendous saves. One incredible save from a shot that Yoav caught incredibly well in the first half and point blank. And then when it was extra time, Dovey Fella had a great chance where he made an incredible save. So yeah, well done to him. He had an outstanding game.
So Oakwood have won the Cup, you won the league this year, so the rivalry remains healthy. It's good to see two great clubs going at one another. What are your early thoughts ahead of next season?
Next season, I think every year with us it's a little bit up in the air for next season. Whether I'm going to manage or not, I'm not sure. What I would say is the team's in a healthier position than it has been in the last few years. So I think that we should be mounting a challenge again. We've got a couple of excellent talents to come back into the team. So whether I'm involved or not, I'm sure we'll really push for the Cup and the league next year.
Next up is the Barry Goldstein Trophy, where Temple Fortune take on Faithfold. Any predictions for that one?
What I would say is that I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think the first one, maybe one goal in it. This game will be very wide open. Neither team are used to the big pitch at Rowley Lane. I think fitness is going to play a big part, and we could see the game getting very stretched in the latter stages.
And key players for this match?
Temple Fortune of late, they've unearthed a very good young goalkeeper called Joel Carlo. They won their semi-final on penalties against FC Team, and Joel saved all 3 penalties in the shootout. So he's had a really good run in the competition. And Faithfold, they've got a player called Jos Brownstone who scored a hat-trick in their semi-final win against Raiders. So those are the players to look out for me. So David, Barry Goldstone Trophy winners for the third time, I believe. Congratulations. How did the game go?
It was very cold, but we started really well. Came straight out the blocks. We went 2-0 up at half time, which was without being put under too much pressure. And then we knew that the next goal would be crucial. And fortunately, we got it in the first minute, I think, of the second half. And yeah, it was a good game. We enjoyed it. We played well, and I think on balance, we deserved to win. 4-1's probably about right.
And what was your game plan going into the final?
We wanted to hit the ground running. We wanted to play. We knew we were going to play a 4-4-2 from the start, and just to work hard when we didn't have the ball. And I think the boys did that really, really well, to the point that I didn't have a save to make, I don't think, in the first half. And the second half, we freshened things up. We had a good game plan when it came to changing the players round. Rob and Abby were really helpful on the side. It's very difficult to do when you're in goal. And yeah, we just went from strength to strength, really. A couple of nervy moments in the second half. I think when we were 3-1 up, they had a chance to get back into it. But other than that, I think the result was probably a fair one.
And I think, I'd say, given your league form and the run this season, how much of a lift has this competition been for the club?
Oh, massive. Well, the A-team have done really well, obviously, winning their division and getting back into the Premier League. And for us, it's been a real struggle. I think most of the season, a lot of players missing, lost a lot of players to injury, and better players going to the A-team. But we wanted to make sure that every week we got a team out, which is the most important thing. I think the biggest challenge isn't when you're top of the league to get the teams out, it's actually when you're near the bottom. And you saw two teams that have probably struggled this season and probably deservedly get to the final, and amazingly so. So yeah, we're really, really happy, and we're going to go and enjoy it.
And you mentioned before the game today could be your last match in the MGBSFL. First of all, were you happy with your own performance? And B, any message out there for Faithfold supporters?
Yeah, it will be my last game. I'm sure they'll drag me out of retirement to play a few games in goal, but I want to go and play on pitch every week. And yeah, we've been going, 25 years now? It's probably time someone else took charge of the club. There's a lot of young people coming through, and yeah, I just want to go and play, and you know, hopefully see Faithfold's in a better place and a good place than it was a couple of years ago. And we'll have a team in the Premier League next year, which is very exciting, and I think by the look of it, a pretty decent team in Division 2 as well. So yeah, I'll still be around, but not that often.
So very well done again today, and go and enjoy the party.
I will do. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed all that cup action. Well done to all the winners over this season. We'll see you next time. Thank you.